If you're anything like me, you're in your 20s. Maybe you're doing a course you don't really like that, working a job that's killing you slowly from the inside, or maybe you're a college dropout, like me, otherwise known as a failure. Regardless of the situation, you're probably feeling a little bit lost. That's okay. Trust me, I get it. 23 years old myself, and it's tough out here, man. It's tough. It gets really hard sometimes, but that's really what I want to talk about today. How traversing through this journey called life is difficult, and it's not always supposed to be pretty, but it's life. So, I know what you're probably thinking. Who the hell is this 22-year-old on my screen telling me how to live my life? To be honest, you're probably right, but I feel like I've lived enough life to talk about the situation a little bit. So, with that out the way, here's what I think you could do in your 20s to make your life a little bit easier. Now, it's never going to be simple, but there are some things that you can avoid and maybe start doing to make your life a little bit easier as it goes on. The first thing I want to talk about is social media. The thing is with social media, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. It keeps us connected to our friends and family, keeps us entertained. Anytime there's the slightest hint of boredom, it gives us an outlet. It's great, really, it is. But it comes at a cost, an expensive cost. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Now, I know you've heard this quote a million times, but the reason I bring it up is because every time the likes of you get on social media, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it may be, you're constantly bombarded with images and videos of people that seemingly have their lives put together. It goes from 20-year-old millionaires to fitness gurus and Instagram baddies that look AI generated, don't even look real. And you go to the mirror every day, compare yourself to these people's highlight reel. But one thing you must never forget is that social media is not real life. These people will never post their down days, or they'll never post the days that their businesses are losing money, or they're having an argument with their spouse, or whatever it may be, because no one wants to see that. Social media is a highlight reel, not real life. So the second point that I'd like to make today is that it takes time for you to figure out your life. I feel like I might have already said it. Anyways, I know it's a lot easier said than done. When you're up at 2 a.m. scrolling through job postings because you hate your job, or you see your friends getting married and having children while you're barely able to afford rent, it can feel like you're failing. But this is the thing about life. It's not a straight line. It's not a preset story. Everybody's story is different. And the only way you get to figure out what your story is through trial and error. And trial and error isn't pretty. And sometimes that looks like starting something that you thought you love just to find out that you don't. And sometimes it looks like letting go of who you're supposed to be who you really are. And that takes time. It takes time for you to figure out what really makes you feel alive and what sucks your soul from your body. You know? And there's a lot of stuff out here that sucks your soul. It takes time for you to figure out what really drains you, you know, the type of people that you really can be around and enjoy spending time with, and the type of people that you have to let go. You know, and that takes time. It does take time. Some people get themselves sorted at 25, some people 30, some people 40, and some people never figure it out at all. Hopefully that's not going to be you. But regardless, it's important that you allow yourself the time to grow, because honestly, there's no timeline. There's no time that you're supposed to have this, you're supposed to have that. Everybody's story is different. What are you going to make of yours? Life is a journey. It's not a race. It is a journey. And I know you've heard it a million times, but I'm going to say it again. It's a journey, not a race. There's no destination that you're going to reach. There's no goal that you're going to get that's going to make you feel complete and make you feel like you've figured it out. That never happens. It's a constant journey. So buckle up and get used to it, buddy. We're going to be here for a while. Now, for the third point that I wanted to mention today, choose your friends wisely. Why do I say this? The friends that you make in your 20s will either make you or break you. Some friends will pull you into a comfort zone so tight that you'll never really grow as a person. Some friends make you feel small just to feel a bit better about themselves. And some of your friends will even cheer for your failures more than your success. Why? Because they're secretly afraid of your growth. But occasionally you come across the rare ones. The ones that actually push you to be better and not just make you feel better by telling you what you want to hear and doing things that ultimately mean nothing. The type of people who celebrate your wins as if it's their own. The type of people who keep your secrets safe, keep your dreams sacred, and tell you the truth, even when it's uncomfortable, because they actually care. Choosing your friends wisely is not just about avoiding toxic people. It's about choosing alignment over attachment, growth over comfort. In your 20s, you're planting seeds for your future. And the people you walk with now will either help you water the garden or poison the soil that you stand on. So be kind, be open, and be selective. Because the people around you, they're really what's going to shape your life. So the next thing that I'd like to talk about today is looking after your health. I know it's the most boring advice that I could possibly say right now, but it's true, honestly. Building strong habits early is way easier than building strong habits later on in life. When you're 40 years old and you're trying to pick up running for the first time, it's going to be 10 times more tedious than if you're 25 and you have a lot of time and not as much responsibility. Now, the health benefits that you get from looking after your health, obviously the list goes on forever. It improves mental clarity, it improves focus, gives you more energy, and it also promotes better mental health. The list goes on and on and on. Not to mention your appearance is obviously going to be better, which means that you're going to be able to attract the type of person you want to attract. And if you really think about it, it also saves you money in the long run. Like, just imagine being 40, 50, 60 and constantly being in and out of hospital because of the chronic diseases that you've been building up since you were in your 20s. Heartbreaking. Do yourself the favor. Look after yourself. And honestly, it'll overall just improve your quality of life. Trust me, I'm not perfect. I also struggle sometimes with looking after my health. It's not always a priority for me. But as the years have been going on, I've tried to make it more and more of a priority. And one thing I'll never say is that I regret looking after my health. 1,000. The next time you're thinking about skipping that run or going on a 3-day bender with the boys or just not being there for yourself, just think about who you really want to be and where you want to be in 20, 30, 40 years. Start now so you don't have to catch up later. So, to round off the points we were talking about today, the first point is to avoid social media. And look, if you're not going to avoid it, at least don't let it affect how you view yourself when you look at yourself in the mirror. Don't let social media dictate where you should be in your life. The second point is to stop being so hard on yourself. I know it's a lot harder said than done, but your 20s is a difficult period of your life, and it takes time for you to figure things out. So, take your time and stop being so hard on yourself. And the third point is to choose your friends wisely. Again, the friends that you make during this period of your life will ultimately shape the person that you are for the rest of your life. So take your time when it comes to choosing friends and really make sure that you are selective with the people that you spend your time with. And lastly, the fourth point is to look after your health. At the end of the day, your health is your wealth. So take your time with it. Go on that walk, go on that run, start that workout program, get that gym membership. It's never gonna be a bad thing for you. And really, in the future, you're just gonna be glad that you did it. So that concludes today's video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching all the way to the end. A lot of effort goes into making these YouTube videos, so it would mean a lot if you guys could leave a like and subscribe, and maybe a little comment as well, just for good measure. And look, we'll catch you at the next one. Peace and love.